Hello, I'm Richard Hoover and this is Sat TV Week. Now I'm here at IBC where I'm pleased to be joined by Francesco Cataldo of iKOMG Group. Franco, thank you for joining me.
Hi Richard, thank you for inviting me.
So iKOMG Group, last couple of years been very active, merger with STN. Tell me a little bit about the progress.
Clearly we see that the company is growing fast. There's a lot of appetite to do more. We are investing in people, investing in products. If we look at the portfolio of products, we started just with satellite. Today we have a bunch of products which involve also the use of new technologies. We are embracing the hybrid world of distribution. And this is not just using fiber, but using really streaming, using technologies which allow us to use public internet. And on top of that, we see a huge demand for content. And now we have a content group. In the group, we have a content division where we distribute channels worldwide. One of them is iClutch, then we have Israeli Plus, and then last but not least, Pedal TV. So these are, let's say, the mainstreams of the company. We have just expanded, not only by acquiring STN, but we have a new teleport in the Middle East region, which is going to be the bridge between the different continents, Europe, Africa, Middle East, and Asia.
Now, you mentioned teleports, but clearly with technologies changing and the market evolving, how is that putting new demands on what you put into the teleports?
Well, teleports are an important asset if you are in this telecom satellite industry. If you don't have a teleport, you cannot access a satellite. We see that the teleport is a cost center, but it's essential to be able to optimize the costs, optimize the quality, optimize the type of service you want to provide to customers. With my experience, I would say that iKOMG Group is doing a fantastic job. Not because I'm in the group, but really because they really take care of the customer. All the pain that the customer has in setting up and distributing content, no matter what type of content you want to distribute, and no matter what the means are, we can do it through our teleports or our network operation centers where we have all the right infrastructure. Important to say that when I started in this industry many years ago, if we compare teleports of those past days to teleports of these days, we see big change. They don't need all that energy as before. Equipment are smarter. You have an easier way to communicate because there are standard protocols. And this helps a lot, I would say, in this industry to improve quality, to improve our capacity to deliver services and the speed to deliver such service. Before, it would take weeks to set up a service. Today, the customer, even from remote, can do it. And in iKO, we have this facility, which allows customers to control the content as and when they need.
Now, looking specifically at satellite, do you think its value to the broadcasting market has diminished in any way with the convergence of other technologies?
Satellite has one advantage. The cost of distribution is the same. If you're going for 1-to-1 or 1 to millions, as long as you're within the service area, the cost of the satellite is very efficient. Unfortunately, the way people watch content has changed, and this has an impact. So I would say that the satellite is relevant, and it's something that people say continuously, in areas where the infrastructure is still very poor. If I think about Europe, people think that Europe is fully served and stuff like that, but not all countries are at the same level. I see some regions of Europe where people can get only 20 megabits per second, and the experience using hybrid solutions, terrestrial, when I'm talking about hybrid, I refer to terrestrial, is not a fantastic experience in terms of speed, in terms of quality, in terms of interruptions. So I think that the satellite has still a role to play in this region, in Europe, and mainly in underserved regions for what concerns terrestrial infrastructure. I'm referring to Africa, I'm referring to South America, and other places where the development of the terrestrial technology is not at the same level as other countries. So, satellite broadcasting is changing, not because of the technology in itself, but it's because of the way the consumer is looking at the content.
Now, you mentioned technology, and everybody's talking about virtualization, the cloud, like you name it, they're talking about it as it evolves. What are your customers seeing, and how are you integrating these new technologies?
So iKOMG Group is very careful to what the customer needs are. So if a customer is asking for a specific technology that we can, I would say, put at their disposal, yes, we do integrate. We also anticipate, we are at the forefront of embracing all new technologies because we think that you cannot stop progress. When you're in this industry, if you, I would say in all industries, if you don't follow up with progress, you will be left behind, and sooner or later you will become obsolete. So we are embracing all these technologies because they have a value. When we're talking about cloud, clearly it has huge benefits. It has some downsides if we're looking at the ecology's part of the business, but it has a huge advantage because you're storing in the cloud and you can get the cloud content wherever you want. You don't need to have a specific line to bring the content to you. Connect, you get it. There could be issues about security. And I think that in iKOMG, we are working very strong on this to make sure that our customer content and customer services are protected. So embracing this world of new technology is mandatory for us, but we're doing it with, I would say, the right step, with all the right thoughts which are required to make sure that we are embracing it with the right point of view, which is the customer point of view, with the right level of understanding of customer needs, and with the right level of security, because we must not forget that security is an important aspect in our industry.
Now, finally, it's always the customer that drives the trends. But what are you seeing? What sort of trends are you seeing moving forward?
Well, we see that the old way of distributing by satellite in some regions is still predominant. But at the same time, customers which want to reach, let's say, a much bigger scale of viewers by embracing what we call the hybrid technology, OTT streaming, and also, I will talk about it later, fast on sat. We see that these products allow our customers to be seen everywhere when they need, and no matter which market. So the way to watch the content has changed, and we are pushing for getting this content to the viewers in the most seamless way. I just mentioned fast on sat. Now, fast on sat is something that we are pushing because we talk about fast channels on internet, but we have a product which is called fast on sat, which means putting the same model onto the satellite. Now, the big difference between satellite and terrestrial is that the satellite throughput at a certain stage is limited. So you cannot have the same experience where you can have on-demand videos, you can have on-demand content like YouTube and stuff like that. So we are providing through the satellite channels, which normally would be only on terrestrial, which can benefit from the revenues which are made by advertisement, and are going to, I would say, to regions where internet, where the fiber is not present. And we see that it's something which is new and is growing. And we are working with our customers, and it's becoming almost standard that when we're talking with our customer to say, okay, what kind of problematics do you have? And once we understand the problematics, we come up with solutions. And the solutions are really tailor-made. We spend some time in analyzing, and then once we understand the needs, there we go.
Sounds very interesting. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Richard.